Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Hello. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? And welcome to another episode of Cosmic Tea. My name is Dr. Olivia Audrey, and I'm going to be joined very shortly by my lovely co-host, Melissa, who's in the room. Are you here?
Hey, honey.
Hi. I think that was the most seamless we've ever done that before.
That's what I was like, wait a minute. That's how I felt last
It's
week too.
it's
I was
too
like,
easy, right?
we've gotten so good. I'm so proud of us.
I am. It's gotten too easy. But you know what? I was thinking, I was so cautiously optimistic today, and Mercury is out of retrograde. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk
It's
about the
all
full moon
happening.
influence. This would not have happened that way a couple weeks ago. Hello,
No.
Camilla Vera. Where's everyone from? So many beautiful faces in here. Who are you? Where you're
We love
from?
this.
What
I
brought
get
you
so
to
excited.
Cosmic Tea? We have a strong cosmic brew for you today, kids, because there's a lot going on in the cosmos. So before we
So
jump
much.
into any of that, and there's so much juice, there's so much tea to spill. I am, as I said, Dr. Olivia Audrey, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host, soul sister Melissa Catherine. Melissa, tell everyone that's here a little bit about you. Hi, Becca
I will.
Ellis.
Becca, we love our new fans. We love new fans of Cosmic Tea. We're so excited. So, I am Melissa Catherine. I am a holistic nutritionist, body intuitive, master hypnotherapist, and coach that specializes in reprogramming the subconscious mind, tying in four pillars of mind, body, soul, spirit, starting with nutrition and connecting to the body through clearing and cleaning that vessel, getting you fine tuned to become the unstoppable, limitless being that you are to thrive in life in a body that you love. That is me in a nutshell, best-selling author, speaker, TEDx speaker, all the things. And yeah, and I just am so honored to be able to share, especially during this time of this rising collective. And I love our Cosmic Tea, and I love everything that we do together.
For those of you that are new, Melissa and I have developed this movement. Well, I would say that we just we said to the universe, okay, use us for whatever mission that you have, and this was it. And so we've created and cultivated this movement known as the Awakened Woman. And we have had our first live event last
It's
month in Florida. It was
incredible.
amazing.
So good.
And essentially, we are your soul sisters, and we cultivated this soul circle for women who are ready to step into that divine being, mind, body, spirit, sex, money, all the things,
All the
love,
things. Yeah.
all of the things that you have felt that you've been denied that are really available for you. And that we walk you through the process of allowing that back into your life, into calling that back into your being. And we were saying the other day, we're so lucky to do the work that we do and to be in this space that I'm so grateful, so grateful. So
Yes.
as I said, we have some tea to spill.
Oh my
Let's
God.
talk about it. Melissa, how was your week with the Aries full moon?
Oh my God.
Let's talk about it.
Uh, Being in Aries, I was like, what is happening? Like, what is going on, guys? There's so much. So one of the such a great question, my beautiful co-host. Um, One of the things that Olivia and I always go back and forth, and we're like, we share one mind. And we complement each other in the best of ways. So we always get so excited because we bring, different flavors to the conversation. And they complement each other so beautifully. But she and I'm always like, have you noticed what's been going on? So this Aries full moon, being in Aries is it's the shadow is like no joke. So let's
Ooh.
just go there first and foremost. So Everything from restless sleep to like feeling like I could sleep for a year, to feeling wired before I'm going to bed, to having that shadow side come up. And this is something that we've been sharing nonstop about. Oh my gosh, Amy Lynn, I'm just saying that. Love you, girl. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All the lady love. But this is such a powerful time, guys. We are running a 30-day manifestation course that we specifically were guided to launch at this time because, and we shared this last week with our October energy read and everything, but this is such a heightened time of manifestation and an up leveling of what we really reference as really being able to quantum leap, where there's no baby stepping your way to the things. Now you can do that. And that's a part of being unawakened. That's why we're speaking to the awakened woman, because we want to support you in the quantum like up leveling of self. And I will say, caveat to that, the up leveling of self, to what Olivia was asking about, what I experienced is when you have those big dreams and those goals and the shadow can come out even more so, because it's wanting to keep you where you are. So those repeated stories of why you're not enough or why you can't or other things of that nature. And so one of the things that she and I kept going back and forth on is really, and we want to impress upon you, please understand you are not your thoughts. Please understand that in order to become who you want to be, you have to do the opposite of what you've done. And in order to do the opposite of what you've done, you actually have to operate from a new belief system. So it's not your thoughts that are driving you, but your beliefs that are driving you. So you actually have to get clear on what are those new beliefs going to be, and be like a hall monitor of your mind and be relentless in shutting it down and calling out lie, not my truth. That is not a belief system that serves me anymore. What would a new one be? The more that you can take that time to be with you first thing in the morning before you go to bed, and even doing check-ins throughout the day, the more it's going to support you at this time. So those are things that I found to be highly supportive, as it can feel like there's almost been like a mental attack to where it's a full-time job to monitor your mind as you're in this up-leveling process.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more, because what we were talking about even earlier in the week, and what I've heard so overwhelming from my clients, I mean, I'm like, our inboxes, we were talking about our inboxes and our phones are blowing up and emails, and because everyone's feeling it. And so what happens is you have Mercury, which was in retrograde, which is the planet of communication. So being able to, if we're talking about old beliefs, you know, watching your words and the words that you're saying, even having some retroactive verbiage and beliefs and things you're saying that you go, oh, why did I just say that? That's not what catching yourself doing that more and more. And then really sort of comparing that to an old belief system that probably isn't working for you anymore. Then you have the full moon in Aries. And one of the things that was most surprising to me is how emotional I felt. Like I woke up with just this chronic heartache, like chronic sadness. And that is not me. You know, anybody that knows me, Melissa, could tell you, I am not that. I am usually like very, you know, effervescent and positive, but I just couldn't shake it. And I really had to take a step back and go, okay, what's going on? Because you would think that if the full moon is in something emotional, like a Scorpio or, you know, a water sign, that's the embodiment of emotion and the divine feminine, I get that. But then I recognize that Aries is fire, and it's the first sign in the zodiac, right? So as we talk about this, this is about what did we sustain as children? Yes. And this is old wounds. And because it's fire and it's so perfect, I have chills while I'm saying this. This isn't about using the watery emotion to support it. This is about using the fire to burn it the fuck down. To burn it the fuck down. This is not a gentle, energetic time, okay? This is not. This is not for the weak ones, okay? So this is why it's so important to check in with yourself, to give yourself the opportunity to go, okay, what are my old beliefs? What thought processes are no longer serving me? And the first step is awareness, is the identification of, I feel so bad and I have this false sense of self, or this false version of myself, and then I have this real version of myself, and I feel like I can't pair the two together. Lots and lots of people have been expressing this. And really what this energy is serving is, this is just like the ruthless warrior that comes in and clears everything out. This is not the gentle, like, this ain't your mama's, you know, full mood retrograde energy detox. This is some real shit. But it's so appropriate because we're about to wrap up 2021, which has been a massive year of introspection for everyone in the collective, individually. We've seen people that have decided to come on the soul growth journey, even, you know, with us, like, skyrocket through the roof, because people are asking and they're waking up. And it really is about deconstructing that false self. But yeah, this is not for the faint of heart. So give yourself a pat on the back. You're not crazy. It's just a really intense time. But you know what? This is what we call 1 degree of change, right? So if you think about water on a stove and you want to boil an egg at 111 degrees, it'll boil the egg. And then you move it 1 degree, 112 degrees, becomes steam. Well, that's an entirely different story altogether, because steam can power. Steam can, you know, be used in locomotives, and it is momentum. And that's 1 degree of universal chemical change. So as human beings, what Melissa and I always talk about is, what is the 1 degree of change that you can implement in your life today?
I love this. And when you said burn the bitch down.
Well, I didn't say the bitch. I think you just added in the bitch.
I added a little flair to it, even more so, because guys, that's really what it is. Like, I found, so I live on the beach, and I found myself going in the water, and one of the areas, like, if we look at what you're experiencing, what you might feel energetically, you know, the emotional side to this, where there's emotions, what Liv is sharing is any emotional trauma, anything stored in the body, anything that's gone unresolved, anything that has multi layers to it, which it all does, especially from childhood. Even if you've done a lot of work on yourself, those other layers, when they're ready to go, they're ready to go. This is the time to, you can either, so I really want you guys to think of it, I'm just going to put it this way, that there's a fork in the road. Either you can stay on the trajectory of where you currently are, and you can stay in the stagnation or in the push-pull of, you know, 1 step forward, 10 steps back, and not being ready to really break free, and just kind of going, okay, like, I want things to change, but I don't really know, and I don't really want to take the time to, like, get clear with myself, and I'm just kind of going to stay where I am, and I'm going to play it safe, and I'm going to what have you. That's a path that you can take, and as much as I want to say this or hate saying this, that path is going to actually lead to more of the same, more struggle, more redundancy, more of the mundane, more of the constant push-pull, where you feel like you're fighting yourself, because your soul came here to expand. Your soul came here to go higher. Your soul came here to experience joy. You actually weren't meant to struggle. You're not meant to be in this space of pain, or it's what we're all being called to is a new paradigm, a new way of being, a new way of operating, a way of operating that's free from human conditioning, free from societal constructs that were put on us, even around money, really money's energy, around our time, around what we can expect, around what life's supposed to look like, around the aging process, around your body, around women and their bodies, around everything, all of the limitations. They're all being asked to crumble down, and for us to step into a new paradigm where we create the rules, where we define new levels that are higher and higher than what we could have seen and expected, from a place of joy and expansion and liberation and freedom versus condemnation or dictatorship, like whatever, all the things. So I say this because in these two paths, this other path is, yeah, it might feel like you're constantly having to monitor your mind and a releasing of emotions, but like Olivia had shared, it's that, you know, the burning down. Like, I went out to the beach and I just felt like I needed to release in a big way, and I had, you know, people staying with me, and my home wasn't my own space at the time, so I actually just went in the ocean. And I just like went in and just started screaming. I was like screaming underwater. I think I scared a lot of fish, and I did it until like I probably had a lot of tears as I was underwater, but it was something that needed to go. I don't even know what it was. I didn't need to even look at the past. You guys don't need to go into heavy analyzation as to where did this come from and why did this come and where did it originate from. And I thought I already dealt with that, but clearly I didn't. It's not even needed. All that needs to happen is you actually just going, I'm acknowledging that there's something in me that I don't want anymore. I'm acknowledging that there's a part of me that needs to be expressed that I probably didn't allow the full expression of or go there before. And now it's here. So I'm going to cry and I'm going to scream and I'm going to understand that this just needs to go and I don't need to give it any meaning. But I also know in the release is a giant liberation that's going to elevate me to that higher level of where I want to go. And in that space of where I want to go, I'll be guided to what feels good. I'll be guided to my right next step. I don't need to know a year from now. I just need to know what's the right next thing for me in this moment. And what we're all being called to is presence, not to look in the past, not to future trip to the future, but to actually be in this present moment, because what is happening is Pluto is transitioning. And with that, there is a lot of power. You'll notice I'm using a lot of these words, a lot of P words. There's power, there's you actually moving up into a space of really recognizing what is personal to you. What is it that you want? That's what we're all being called to really step into. What do you want? And I know many will go, well, I don't have the freedom to do that, or I have children that I'm responsible to, or I'm this that I'm responsible to. In that, that's also a lot of constructs being put on you. You always have room to decide, and you have to have faith in the universe that it will support what your desires are. So get out of that limited thinking.
Yeah, for sure. And we talk about a lot the past, and I think that there's a place and a time for that 3D version of traditional therapy, and it can be very valuable. But the nature of the beast is to drag out the trauma, hash it out, look at it 55 million different ways, and then see if we can release that over time. And as we shift into this new dimension of just existing, I mean, look at it this way, guys. So people are doing things faster than ever before. We have computers, we have cell phones, we have microchips. People make money faster than ever before. Why would our healing process be any different? Because we are an organism. We're an animal that's evolving with the frequency of the planet. So our healing doesn't have to be this like dinosaur. Let's compare hurt for hurt and pain for pain. And, that can become my war story, right? The problem is that occasionally, a lot of times, we live with the pain so long that the pain becomes that old familiar friend. And we work with a lot of people that go, you know what, it's not serving me. I want to get rid of it. Like this happened with my dad. This happened with, my ex, this blah, 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 but that pain, even though it's in such a negative vibration in the body, long-term, in the energy field, in the mindset, in the belief system, it becomes familiar. And if you have gone through shit in your life, which we all have, the nature of trauma is that it makes you crave consistency and stability. So the irony is the pain that's created by the trauma then becomes the consistency. And we begin to crave the stability of that pain because we go, okay, if I get rid of this pain, what's going to take its place? And we hear that a lot. People not wanting to take the next step, even though the thing, the like illness, the mindset, the relationship, the lack consciousness, whatever it is, they can see it's not working for them. Their life is shit. It's falling apart. They're broke. They hate their job. They're unhappy, whatever, right? Want to lose weight. But it is a hard thing in their mind to release that, even though their soul is calling them to do that. Your energy naturally wants to release that, right? Your energy will naturally move in that direction. So that is really where the belief systems and doing what we call energy diffusion comes into place. And we talk about, stuff coming up from the past. And occasionally what I recommend to people that they experiment with, because it's so effective, but it can change your life like that, is something called energy diffusion, where if you have a place, let's just say it's a childhood home and there was abuse and you're like, I never want to go to that town, I never want to drive by that street, da, da, da. Guess what? That has an energetic charge that is connected into your core, into your energy in some way, somewhere, right? It's like the internet, it's all around us. I recommend going to that place. I recommend going to that place and resetting, neutralizing the energy imprint on it by introducing the energy that you are now into that trauma. If you can, a physical place, you can diffuse the energy so that you don't have to take that pain with you anymore. Classic one I use with a lot of my clients, I'll have, women and men, but women that typically go, oh, I can never go back to that restaurant because I went there with my ex. And I'm like, the first thing you're going to do, girl, is go to that restaurant. You're going to look beautiful. You're going to walk in there with so much love in your heart, exuding so much light. You can go there with someone. You can go there by yourself, whatever. But you're going to get over that narrative and that energy charge, because whether it's a trauma, an illness, a memory, whatever, we have to neutralize that and make space for it to be replaced with something else. And the something else that's coming, you get to decide. You didn't get to choose the trauma. Okay, you didn't get to choose the hurt, but you do get a choice in releasing it, and it can be that easy. And what's better is you get a choice in what you put in its place. So if I were to say to you, there's this rotten flower that doesn't bloom and it looks like terrible and it's probably got some sort of disease in my garden and it's filled with beautiful rose bushes around it, but I don't want to take it out because I don't know what I'm going to put in its place yet. You'd be like, are you crazy, Olivia? Like, it's bringing down, it's sinking up the place, bringing down the whole vibration of the entire garden, right? Your soul's the same way. You got to dig up the weeds. You got to root your garden during this time period. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to support. But like we said, it ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Yeah, this, and that's why when we said, this Aries full moon, and the energy right now, isn't for the faint of heart. You'll notice the emotions, you'll notice the voices, you'll notice that you might be thinking more negative. And a few things that I do want to say to you, for those of you that have been in the self-development space, please don't think that it's not working. Please don't think that you're going backwards. Please don't think that all this work that you've done hasn't been, that somehow that's just a part of you operating from belief systems of the past. I really, really, really want you guys to ask yourself, I am just I'm not my thoughts, right? Like, I'm an outward observer. I see these thoughts. My thoughts are a construct of an old identity. What are the belief systems of who I choose to be? What are the belief systems that I want for me, right? And then it's like, oh, okay, well, what I'm telling myself right now doesn't feel good. The easiest way to know when we're out of alignment versus in alignment is if it doesn't feel good, then you are not in alignment. If it feels good and makes you happy, that is your soul, that is your higher self, that is divine, that is source, that is God, whatever you subscribe to, saying, yes, this is aligned, this feels good for us. And you know it simply by how it makes you feel. It does, please, like I always get asked, the most simple way is just go off of how you feel. If it makes your heart sing, if it makes you smile, then that is what your right next step is. So if you're in a bad place and all of a sudden you're like, oh, my mindset's all, and music comes on and you're like, don't stop because, oh, I don't have time for this right now. Allow the movement of the energy, allow for that next step. So if something doesn't feel good, whether it's something you're saying, something you're eating, something you're thinking, something you're doing, then you are out of alignment. So always know that you can recalibrate at any time. That is the gift of life, is the opportunity to realign, to recalibrate at any moment of any day. And the best way is simply to pause and go, what am I thinking right now? Is what I'm thinking, do I want this to create a belief? Is what I'm thinking, do I want this to create a belief right now? Is this thought a belief that I want to have on repeat? Because we have 80,000 thoughts a day, 60,000 or so are negative. Do I want to add this to that wheel? No, this isn't serving me. Well, then I need to change what I'm saying, right? I need to halt that thought before it becomes a belief at that 17 seconds mark. And if you didn't, then just wait when it comes again. Don't beat yourself up, and then create a new one that serves you. But you have that opportunity every time. Is what I'm saying to myself something that's going to hurt me or serve me? Well, if it's hurting me, then I'm not aligned, right? There's only two human emotions, love and fear. If you're operating from fear, you're in disconnection. If you're operating from love, you're in connection. Your higher self, God, source, universe, angels, is never going to say something to you that makes you feel bad. There is no judgment, only unconditional love. So during this time, I really want you to we want you to allow what you're experiencing, not to shut it down. You don't need to go into paralysis and analysis of why is this and blah, blah, blah. Just can go, I see it and I let it go. It doesn't define me. It doesn't mean anything about me, but I'm choosing a new way now. I'm choosing a new way now. Because if I was or had what I wanted or was already where I want to be, I wouldn't be thinking this thought, and I would never talk to myself that way, or I would never do this. And that's the choice. That's the path, right? And you guys have that opportunity right here. And we're hoping that with this topic that we're illuminating and supporting you in having what you want.
Yeah. And I think it's really critical, as you said, to just mention that we're not our thoughts. We're not even our beliefs as much as we feel like we are. And to understand that it's okay for you to follow the vibration of what feels good. We are trained so much, like everything in moderation. The universe will naturally moderate. Okay. It's just the laws of physics in the universe. It will naturally moderate. So like, I don't know how many times you've like, well, don't be too happy. Don't get too excited. It's like, no, I'll get as fucking excited as I want. Thank you very much. You won't tell me what I will and won't do. Like this is my inner brat that I encourage you all to embody at this time. It's like, dig in your heels and demand to be happy. Demand it, because the universe is more than willing to meet you there.
Can't hear you. Oh, there you are.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I encourage all of you to follow the feeling, right? Don't follow the thought, follow the feeling, and follow that pull, because that's really, really important. And we are here to help and support you in any way, shape, or form that we can. We have, as I said, created this community that is so big and keeps growing so much bigger every single day. It's sort of a wild thing to see,
So
people
amazing.
from all over the world. And if you'd like details about that, you can find that on Melissa's page, my page, when our next event is, yada, yada. But we really want you guys to know that we're all in this together. We are here with you, and we're here to support you, because it's, you know what? You're in this meat skeleton hurling on this rock through space, as we've said before. Like, you got nothing to fear. You've got nothing to fear.
Yeah, and guys, our next live event is taking place in Dallas, January 28th through the 30th. So we will have links for you to register. We already have a wait list, which is crazy and super exciting. And we will also let you know when our next program will be running as well. Right now we're in our current 30-day manifestation, and then we will let you know that. But stay tuned. Make sure to meet us each week here with CosmicT on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, all other time zones. You know where you are. We love our global community here. So grateful for you and honored every week to be by your side. And have an amazing rest of your week. And we will see you guys soon.
We love you all so much. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.